Are we live? Am I all alone? Oh, there he is. Hey, look, guys. Adam here with 3leteam.com. Ashley and Janet are hanging out in the background. They're probably going to judge us tonight. Don't worry about it. They are the women that stand beside us in this thing, and they help us out, and they're awesome at it. But tonight what I wanted to do was take a little different approach, okay? Over the last 4 or 5 weeks, my wife and I have been putting these things on. And what I want you to understand is that this business is very much about you, okay? And what we are interested in is empowering you. And one of the guys on our team, Josh Braymar out of Lincoln, he and his wife, or fiance, almost soon-to-be wife, are up-and-comers in this thing. You're going to know who they are because they got a growing team. They have found some winners on their team, personally and in depth. They've made it to the 40% discount level, and so basically this thing's just getting started for them. So I'm going to just kind of let Josh hop into the frame here, and he's going to tell you kind of his story about how we met each other, because, guys, when we met each other, life was a lot different than it is today for us. We were kind of young, silly, dumb, broke kids. And along the way, we both kind of grew up a little bit. We met our significant others, and which helped a lot. And we have found a path and an opportunity through AdvoCare that we've chosen to latch on to and not only help ourselves and our families, but empower you people. And I think he's got a pretty cool story. And I'm just going to kind of let him take over. I may jump in and out of the frame here because this is grassroots stuff. This is brand new people. He's come onto the team and he's had to learn some things just like we did, just like you have. And he's doing some really great stuff. So I'm just going to hop out of here and let him kind of take over, okay? Bye.
Hey, guys. Josh Braymar here from Lincoln, Nebraska. And Adam last weekend talked about fear and doubt, and you guys are witnessing it firsthand right now. I am absolutely scared of doing this right now, but I'm going to get through it. I hope you guys bear with me. So I kind of want to start with a little bit of my background, where I kind of came from and who I'm about. Growing up, my life lacked consistency. You know, I was in and out of projects, and I would start strong and ended up, you know, quitting more than I won. And for instance, going through high school, I wanted to follow my brother's footsteps as becoming a great wrestler, as he took state his senior year, and I was a great wrestler, and I had the chance to be great, even more great. But as time went by, my sophomore year, you know, a few troubles came by, and I quit. You know, and I started golf, quit. You know, you get my drift. But I had high hopes for college. You know, I had my career path set as being an aviation mechanic. I had everything going for me, you know, as planned. Got into college, you know, and I was still in party mode, and I was doing good. I started off strong like I normally do. You know, I put my full heart into it, and then eventually, you know, I started falling behind because of the partying, and I quit. Well, it was shortly after that I would say 3 or 4 weeks. I was just wandering around aimlessly, not knowing what I was going to do with my life. You know, I was completely lost. And I get a random phone call from a guy I never even heard of. And his name was Adam Raker. And he's like, "Hey, is this Josh Braymar?" I was like, "Yes, it is." And he's like, "Would you be willing to, you know, insert sales pitch here, you know?" And he's like, "Would you meet me somewhere?" So I met a random stranger at Panera Bread, and I could about imagine what he thought of me then. I had long hair, you know, and just a real hippie like kind of guy. But I mean, he said something that interested me, and I couldn't tell you what it was now, but he got me to the meeting. I think the next week. And that meeting led into me meeting somebody else that, you know, I kind of caught a vision there, and I was excited. I haven't seen anything like that before, so it kind of got me going. And they asked me, they're like, "Hey, how would you how would you feel about going to Tennessee to this big event that we're having? You know, Nebraska, Tennessee. I barely even got out of state, but somehow, some way, I had no money, guys, and I sold.
I'm gonna cut him off right here because he's about to remove every excuse you ever had from going from point A to point B. Let him have it.
And I sold my truck. It was a beater truck of mine. I sold it for about $100, and that's more than what it was worth. Let me have you tell. Let me tell you. But I ended up borrowing my grandma's credit card, and I got a seat on that bus. And I went down there. You know, Adam was on the bus with us, and we met a lot of great people. And got back, saw a good vision, you know, and then after that, me and Adam went to work. We became best friends. It seemed like we were putting on miles. We were doing this and that, and you know, I totally got a change of thinking. And long story short, that kind of faded away as well. You know, life kind of happened, and I kind of grew out of that. I moved off. You know, I kind of started doing my thing, and once again, I quit. So, you know, after that, it was probably about a year after I got into some trouble, and you know, it really changed my point of direction in my life, and that was rock bottom for me. I was living with my mom again. I had no money, and I was back to square one. And so my brother, I've been blessed with a great family, and my older brother, right before he kind of took off and did his own thing with the Air Force, he's like, you're moving up to Lincoln with me. We're getting you a job. We're cutting your hair, and we're getting your shit together. Sorry for my language, but I could not argue at all, because I knew I needed it. I absolutely knew I needed it, and I was gonna work my hardest to give it all I got, and you know, become a better person. And I knew I had it in me, and I was tired of all these excuses I had for myself, like, you know, all that quitting. I blamed it on my ADHD, you know, and all that stuff. And really, it was the way I was thinking. And then shortly, you know, party mode was going on a little bit. I knew who I was, but I didn't really have a sense of direction. And it was about 2 years after that ordeal, I met Janet, my fiance now, and she's a total game changer. I mean, she seen me when I had nothing. She fell in love with me when I had nothing. So you're gonna about imagine, you know, and as me being who I am today, I'm gonna try and give her everything that she deserves. So I've been constantly working on myself, and about this point, Adam calls me up like it was a call from God, and he says, "Hey, how you been? Man, not too bad, you know, this and that." Lied to him about how good I was doing. And so he kind of showed me the Avocare plan, which was beyond measurement of what Amway had to do with, you know, what we did back in the day. And, you know, we were both still really new, or Adam mainly, you know, he called me up there, and
I basically just lied to him because I had no idea what I was talking about.
He did.
This was my
but and absolutely, I mean, I listened to every word he said, because I had put miles on with this guy. He changed the direction of my life. So, you know, about that time, I was trying to look for people that really, you know, motivated me, and people that kind of pushed me and stretched me. Adam's my guy. And so I was open to change, and I really needed the change. So, you know, I listened to everything that Adam had to say, you know, and it was about a year. We were going off and on. They instilled a lot of knowledge into me, Adam and Ashley both. I mean, great teachers. And this thing just started blowing up. You know, they had ideas, you know, this whole webinar thing and everything, it's all new. And I mean, it's all come together because of what we've learned in the business. And after showing me the plan, you know, I had things going on with the business. It was kind of slow for me because I was really working on myself. I knew my business wasn't going to grow unless I did. So all this working on myself, and then finally we
write that one down. Say it again.
I was working on myself because I knew that my business wouldn't grow unless I grew. So, you know, there was constant effort. I had to, you know, get out of comfort zones, and I'm telling you, a lot of them are going to be hard, and a lot of them are still hard for me. Like I've become obsessed with sorry, I've become obsessed with getting better and self-improvement. And
Josh, is it worth it to go through all that?
Absolutely. For me, it was, because I knew I needed change. I knew I needed to grow. I have such a big heart, and you know, and I needed to find something that you know, kind of drove me to
get out of your comfort zone.
Get out of my comfort zone. That's exactly what it was too. And I haven't really, you know, in my past life, once I get to about that point, you know, that's about the time when I would quit. When I was being stretched, when I was getting taken out of my comfort zone, because, you know, I had no other way of knowing, you know, I didn't have that sense of winning that I do now. But after Success School, I came back with a lot clearer vision. I went to work, me and my fiance Janet, and we put a bunch of people on our team. And, you know, it was all going pretty fast, and then it kind of slowed down a little bit, you know, because I wasn't, you know, building that culture that I wanted to see in my team. You know, I need to set a good example, and I wasn't really doing the work, you know, and like I should have. But, you know, right now we got a pretty good team. Ben is doing work, Ben Wilkinson. I got Janet's brother Zach and Alex, Michael. I mean,
brand newest guy on your team, Tim ONeil.
Tim ONeil.
Listen to that name, because you're going to hear about him a lot.
Can't wait to meet you, Tim. I've heard a lot of good things. So
wait. You guys are going to have people on your team that you haven't even met? He's been in for a little bit, Josh. You haven't met him yet? Is that possible?
That's absolutely possible.
Remember when I drew out the McDonald's franchise and I said, look, you're going to have some people on your team you haven't met? And that's real, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely real.
Talk about how you got to advisor.
Okay. I was, after Success School, I had, you know, Adam was really giving me the game plan of where he wanted me to go and how to get an advisor as quickly as possible. Everything was going good. And I was probably, you know, I sold a bunch of challenges to my A-list, and I got it. I was probably about $300 away. And then a seed I had sowed a while back, before I even went to Success School, called me up. I showed him the plan. I showed him the numbers. And that night he's like, well, what do I do? I'm going straight to advisor. So I was like, okay, well, I put him underneath my brother Michael, and once he went advisor, once he bought into advisor, that volume rode up to Michael, made him advisor, as long as he put in his 500 PV, and then it rode all the way up to me, and that made me advisor. And
Josh, where does 500 PV come? Does it have to come out of your pocket?
No, it doesn't. It comes just from your personal legs.
And any customers you've got? Any
customers you have. Obviously, if you're using the product as well, I mean, a couple hundred of that could be yours as well. It doesn't all have to be yours. And you won't pay full
price for that anyways, because it'll be whatever discount level you're at, right?
Yep, whatever discount you're at, that's what it will cost you, but it's still going to show up as retail for your PV.
Do you think that was an intimidating factor from you in the beginning before you understood it and went through the process?
Absolutely. I hate numbers.
And so once you realized the business and how it actually worked, did it take a lot of stress off of you And then all of a sudden, did you have belief in other people through that because you decided to do it?
It did, because I did the work. I seen it hands-on, you know, and that's the best way for me to learn is doing it myself and kind of.
Well, listen, guys, I'm going to let Josh talk about something that's pretty important because you've kind of learned it, right? And this made all the difference.
Absolutely.
You guys, you've heard everybody talk about it. Would you agree the 4 basics is where it happens?
Absolutely. And I had a really hard time getting this one down. I'd make the contact, and then I would try to throw him to a mixer. You know, I would talk to Adam about it, but I would never get him on the phone. And I don't know what it was. You know, I knew it worked because I seen it work for other people, but it's just like, it's kind of intimidating at first, you know, for you to be like, hey, I'm going to get you on the phone with this guy, you know, somebody that they don't even know. And, you know, but in all reality, especially with like my past, you know, and people, that's the third party credibility. They're going to get past that, what they've seen in you, like, oh, well, this, you know, Josh is just doing one of those things again, and he's doing that and that. Well, if I throw them to Adam, somebody they've never even met, it's gonna change it. It's gonna change it a little bit, and it works every time. Ever since I started,
I'm gonna tell you guys
implementing that 3-way phone.
I don't know if you even know this, but so far, Josh has a 100% success rate with 3-way phone calls with me, right?
Absolutely.
Sponsored 5 legs. Jim, right?
Yep.
Ben.
Yep.
Zach.
Yep.
Alex.
Yep.
Ben.
Yep.
5 legs right there. 5 3-way phone calls. He sponsored 5 legs. Right?
Yep.
One of those legs went advisor. The other leg's on its way to advisor. And we did a 3-way phone call with a guy named Aaron out in Colorado here a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And it changed the game, didn't it?
Yep.
Make that 6. 100% success rate. Did you even realize that?
No.
100% success rate.
It works.
Yep. 4 basics: contact, phone call, mixer. Okay, this can be a mixer, it can be a business opportunity meeting, or it can be a 2-on-1. Okay, Josh and I have done some 2-on-1s together, and all that was is he and I with this person that was interested in some more information. We sat down at the kitchen table, and we then, a lot of times they get started right here, and I'll still do a follow-up. And the reason I do a follow-up is to give them a game plan. And what do I do, Josh? Round the bases.
Round the bases.
Round the bases, right?
Home run.
So you're 6 for 6 right now, man.
So what are you saying? You want
Why?
more?
Why in the world would you stop doing 3-way phone calls? Maybe just go do more of them. Like, you can go diamond this way pretty quick, right? If you're willing to sponsor, you can go diamond because you're going to find the right ones. Out of 6, actually out of 5, one guy's a customer. You have one guy going to advisor and another guy that's going to make advisor happen because Tim ONeil is going to get advisor done just like Ben Wilkinson, right?
That's right.
Pretty wild stuff, right?
I'm pretty excited for that group.
Now let's go back to the beginning here. You talked about how you had to kind of get uncomfortable. You kind of had to do some things you didn't know if you could do.
I'm getting uncomfortable right now.
Let me tell you guys a story about a guy named Roger Bannister, okay? Roger Bannister was the first guy in the history of the world to run a 4-minute mile. This happened like the 1950s, okay? Prior to that, scientists were 100% sure. What are they going to be sure of tomorrow? They were 100% sure that it was physically impossible for a human being to run a 4-minute mile. They thought you would die. It just isn't possible. Till one day, this guy named Roger Bannister runs a 4-minute mile. He ran it in 3:59.6 seconds, I believe. Boom! Blew people's minds. He just broke through the barrier of what scientists think they know about creatures created by God. And you know what happened after that guy did it? The following year, like 20 more people came behind Roger, and they ran a 4-minute mile. Why? Roger got uncomfortable. Roger was Josh Braymeyer. Roger kicked the damn door down and said, I'm doing this. Who's coming with me? And as soon as he did it, other folks got on board, and they came along with him. What is going to be impossible tomorrow? Because it sure as heck ain't going diamond. We're going diamond. It's possible. You can go advisor. This guy just did it. You can go gold. You can go ruby. You can go emerald. And you will be diamond if you're a part of this team. Because 3LE is not slowing down. Not for anybody.
He's good. So I know another thing Adam wanted to kind of talk about is our ArtFreeLE team going 100 strong. How far are we away from it?
We're at 50.
We're at 50. Can you guys get us 50 more, please?
Go get yourself 50 more. I'll help you do it.
So.
All right, guys. This is maybe a little bit shorter webinar than it's been in the past, Josh. What do you think your #1 struggle was from the time you got started? And basically, dude, you got started and you didn't even buy a product for like 6 months, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you didn't sponsor anybody for another 6 months. What changed?
Well, my consistency for one, my vision. I learned how to see past, the struggles, which I benefited from anyways. And, I just started, like Adam said, kicking down doors, getting uncomfortable, and just doing work. I mean, constantly, every day, just doing something. Whether it's reading, improving yourself is key, especially for me right now. I may not be Adam's fastest growing leg, but I believe I'm the fastest growing personally as a person. And I'm going to continue to do that because I've seen nothing but great outcomes. So,
do you think if 3LE gets to 100 strong, we'll go to 250, 500, 1,000, and we will fill coliseums wherever we feel like filling them?
I absolutely have no doubt.
What's your why, Josh? Why do you do this thing?
I am. Oh man, I wasn't ready for that question because I have not yet.
Dude, I cried a couple weeks ago.
I'm still looking for my absolute why, but right now, because I don't have family, I don't have kids, but I absolutely hate my job. So
that'll do.
This week really put a toll on me, and financially free, not me being the one to write my own paychecks. That's huge for me, and I'd like to be a stay-at-home dad. I like to do everything for my kids. Get them involved in sports. Make sure they don't quit.
Come bring them Coach Adam. We'll teach them how to wrestle.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Wrestling
look, man,
is in the family.
I think something people don't understand is you don't need to make $1 million a year to not have to answer to a boss, do you?
Absolutely not.
3-star gold replace your income?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Okay. So let's go do it.
And I guess, one key thing for me is changing my circle of influence, changing the people that I surrounded myself with. And, I surround myself with winners, people that are like Adam are going to push me to be my absolute best and see the potential that I haven't seen in myself. And that is my game changer. That's what started making things happen, was just kind of involving myself in people that are, I wouldn't say smarter, even though, it kind of is. But, you want me to wrap this thing up?
Yes, sir.
No, you wrap it up.
Okay, I'll wrap it up.
You lock it up.
You lock it up. It's like two people that understood what just
Thank
happened.
you guys for bearing with me. That was a weight lifted off my shoulder. That's another thing I can check off that I was definitely doubting myself about and a fear of. And you're going to see a lot more of me. So stay tuned. See you guys.
Hey, that's how we do it, right? That's how we do it. Hey,
Thanks
look, guys,
up.
was Josh awesome or what? There's this saying that I've had. Okay, I talked to a group of high school wrestlers today, and it was from my old high school. And 11 years after graduation, they kind of call me back once, every so often, and ask me to come speak to the wrestlers. And there's this message that I always try to deliver to them. It's that you think that you may be at a high level right now, but you have no idea what you're capable of. I don't care about what your bank statement says today. I don't care about if you were terrified to step in front of a camera. You know why a guy like that does that? Because he wants you to have the same success and the same victories he does. And so I had this room, there was only about 15 people in there today, and I said, you need to repeat after me. And I said this. I said, good, better, best, never let it rest. Until your good is better and until your better's best. I'm not done growing. Josh isn't done growing. The 3LE team is just getting started. We are going to the top, and let me tell you guys, this is a special thing. First person we sponsored, Katie Heard, we said, Katie, I don't know nothing about this business. All I know is I'm going to make it super special. So if you want to come along and be a part of something special, let's do that. Boom, Sioux Falls happens. You know what? Said the same thing to Josh Braemar. Boom, Lincoln's happening. Ashley and I are contacting people right and left, same way that you guys are. We are just getting started. This thing's going to happen, and you want to make money in this thing, it's right here, isn't it, Josh? 4 basics.
That's where it's at.
Okay. You guys want to talk about getting to advisor and you're brand new, call me. I'll talk you through it because I need to have a game plan with you to do it, and you'll learn everything you need to learn about how to build this business. Because once you've done the 4 basics and you've gotten to advisor, you can build this thing as big as you want, can't you?
Absolutely.
All right. You guys have a good night, and thanks for checking us out. And hey, what's your last statement? You got a message to send them off with?
Let's go Diamond.
Amen.